Child. Okay, so I need someone to explain to me thoroughly how deep does the rabbit hole goes with the notion of not having your father or a father figure present in your life growing up. How does that affect the children? Primarily, specifically, and mainly the women. Because I can remember back when I was a young girl, and I'm talking about a child, like 5, 9, 13, 15. I ran away at 16. But as a child, I was stuck in the house. Like, I was on lockdown. I was on lockdown, baby, while my friends had freedom and their parents used to let them go to the mall, used to let them go to the movies. My stepdaddy said, you ain't going nowhere. You see, summertime, you want some company, your cousins can come over, baby. And that's why when I was growing up, I wasn't fast. Like, I've never been man crazy, boy crazy. And I think it was because I was sheltered so much, like I was locked up in the house. My mama and my stepdaddy got together when I was 3 months old, and she just recently left him last year in November. So that was my father, right? That was my father figure. That was my daddy. That is my daddy, regardless of, the bull he do, but that's my dad. I ain't trying to go on a tangent. But for the one, like, I can remember when I used to get home, because my mama was my best friend, and she would watch the stories, she would watch Maury, Ricky Lake, stuff like that. And I can remember on Maury when women would come up for a DNA test, and they would, for the promiscuous ones, they would always use the excuse of, I didn't have a father. So I never understood how that could be the case of you not having a father could turn you into a hoe. But then, as I got older, I started seeing that excuse more often, especially when younger girls date older men. And I used to have a thing for older men. Like, I didn't like boys my age, men my age. And it wasn't because I was looking for a father figure, because I had that. So when I see people say, oh, she must got daddy issues when she's dating an older man, that kind of disgusts me, because I'm like, if you're looking for a father figure, I mean, it would be someone to lead you, as Arion said, and guide you, and not someone to hop in the bed with. Like, I don't see you having father issues being an excuse to either, one, be promiscuous, or two, date older men. Like, for instance, with the boys, with men who grew up in a single parent household with only their mother, and then they turn to the streets for guidance. That's something that I can see, okay, yeah, the father not being in the house, not being present may have, contributed to that, because they would go out and they would reach out to the older guys in the streets that was dealing drugs, and that was, bang, bang, banging, and then gang, gang, gang life, right? So yeah, you would be looking for someone to guide you in that sense, but I never understood the notion of not having your father present being a means, a way of you dating an older man. So when Arion, I don't know who told her that. I don't know who gave her that excuse. So when she said, I didn't grow up with my dad, Nay. And so I was looking for Martel to guide me, to lead me. Lead you well, girl. Shut the hell up. Where can he lead you to? What can he guide you to? I just never understood that. So when she said that, I was like, what? I mean, you would be looking at him like an uncle in my mind, and not as a future husband or a mate. Can somebody please explain that to me? And I want to know why she felt the need to now use that excuse. Like, girl, if you didn't have your dad around, and you didn't have an uncle or an older brother or somebody who could have taught you better, why would it be excusable for her to say that she, I guess, ventured towards an older man in Martel and looked for him to lead her, but was sexually attracted to him when she was looking at him as a father figure? Like, does that make sense, or am I just talking? Am I just crazy? I'm ignorant to the fact. So can someone explain it to me? And another thing, I reviewed that recording again, and when Arionne, when she was speaking of Melody's boss up, her glow up, right? And she spoke with such admiration. And then it turned into hate. And that's what I think her problem is. I think the fact that Melody, well, for one, Martel lied about the finances and who was the primary source of the success in their marriage. So she was led to believe that Martel was the breadwinner. He was the GOAT of the family. And when that turned out not to be true, that's an angering portion for her. And then, not only that, but the woman who you were dogging on the internet for years, calling her slow, saying she was lazy, she was dumb, her husband was doing everything. When that woman finally leave that man, she is rising to the top. And you're sinking to the bottom. But said on Tasha K that she was the cream of the crop. Girl, I don't understand it, honey. Help me to understand. I think that is a primary source for Arionne's anger. And that is why she's not able to let it go. She's not able to really understand what she did wrong. Well, she understands what she did wrong, but she can't apologize for it because deep down, she don't want to admit that she was wrong for, taking on to Martel's side so hard and going after Melody so hard when Mel was the brain of the operation. Like with Arionne, I really feel like she's going to have to sit down and realize not only did I fuck up, because I did fuck real bad. Not only did I fuck up, but I have now labeled myself for the world to see me as a mistress and as a dumb mistress at that. My children are going to see this. My daughter see this. Her father and his wife see this. Ooh, ain't that so nasty, scandalous stuff? When you make a fool of yourself and your ex and his wife have to watch you struggle through the mess that you've made. So it ain't no telling how she was talking and acting before all of the hit the fan. She probably thought she was on cloud nine, honey, acting like she was the best thing popping. And she loved to say she that girl. But when she get home and she by herself and she reviewing these YouTube videos, you cannot feel like that girl. That baby's self-esteem probably is down in the pits of hell. But she ain't got nobody to blame but herself. See, with Melody has a wide array of support on the internet and off. Arionne, I can't see that. I see people supporting her. The young ones, the dumb ones, the old dumb ones, the ones that don't mind seeing hurt in other women, the ones that don't mind, as long as they get what they need, they don't care about the next one, right? They're gonna do and say what they gotta do for them. They don't care how it hurts another woman. So yeah, they're gonna support her and they're gonna encourage her. But Arionne haven't been on TikTok, baby, since she haven't been on TikTok in a couple of days. And Arionne was getting used to getting on TikTok. TikTok was her go-to. I ain't seen on them. Until Arionne can sit down and really accept her situation for what it is, and she can really accept that she messed up, it's not going to change. And until she put her pride to the side, it's not going to change. When she said her publicist was mad at her because they wanted for her to sincerely apologize for Mel, but she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it because it would be acknowledging defeat. She couldn't do it because it would be her saying that, okay, what I thought was my life and what I'm portraying my life to be ain't it, and everybody's going to see it and they're going to clown me. But forgiveness and apologizing isn't for everybody else, it's for you. That's how I take it. If I've wronged someone, I would apologize, hoping that they would forgive me. But even if they don't, I've cleared myself, my conscience, right? I've done what I had to do to make the situation right, to make the situation better. So whether or not they forgive me or not, I can forgive myself. She can't do that. She's not in that place right now. And I'm glad she didn't apologize, because she wouldn't have meant it. It would have been just something to help clean up her image. And no, I don't want everybody to just hate her forever. But baby, you can keep fake apologies, because that means you haven't learned anything. You haven't changed, and you're not going to change. If you put a band-aid, like if you just pacify a baby, it'll calm them for the moment. But if that baby keeps crying, and you don't try anything else, it's not going to cure whatever is ailing that child. The baby can be hungry. The baby can be need to be changed. And you just sticking to pacifying the baby mom. No, that's not how you fix situations. And until Arionne can really sit down and take accountability for what she's done. We ain't talking about what Melody done to her, said to her. We ain't talking about it. For her actions. Not her father not being there. Not Melody supposedly talking about her kids. Not the fans calling her names. But for the actions that she exhibited. It ain't gonna change. And baby, y'all keep saying y'all want us to stop talking about her. But I'm gonna tell you just like this. This is an investment. When you watch something for so long, you become invested. And you ain't gonna just let it go. And until she get it right, she gonna continue. She's going to be talked about until the end of time. And it's gonna break her. It's gonna break Martel. Until they both can just acknowledge the wrongdoing that they've done.